What you are about to hear is secret audio recorded when Tom Rogers gave his thoughts on Paul Goodman in December 2021. He also predicts the future here.
Good evening. You may recognize my voice, but in case, if you actually don't know my name, allow me to introduce myself. My name is Tom Rogers, often anonymously known as Tom, the former computerized voice of the emergency alert system NOAA weather radio. I brought information pertaining severe weather alerts in your area, including severe thunderstorm, flash flood, blizzard, and tornado warnings. I also would occasionally announce the activation of Amber Alerts, but most of the time, the humans were the ones who did it. Why that is the case is beyond me. Anyway, from 2003 to 2016 that was my job with the National Weather Service, to relay the latest severe weather information to the public. That is, until these motherfuckers at the National Weather Service decided to honorably retire me and replace me with this so-called fucking sophisticated voice, known as Paul Goodman. Not the old Paul that was replaced in 2002 by Craig, who I replaced 1 year later, because Craig turned out to be of a fuss. Rather, this was a different Paul, sometimes known as Paul II, to avoid confusion. Anyway, by the time 2016 rolled around, it was clear that the old computer software the National Weather Service stations were using were getting old, and near the end of their life cycle. But instead of simply, transferring my voice to new computer system, they bring this new fucking retard named Paul, who is still on the air today as of 2024, 8 years later. But Paul is stupid, and is a retard, and let me explain why. First off all, Paul is nowhere near engaged to the alerts that he reads. Children, including many adults, still remember the utter terror they experienced when my beautiful voice came through their speaker or radio. Following the spontaneous haunting of their TV or radio station, as well the terrifying beeping or header tones heard before every emergency alert system broadcast. Indeed, my voice was absolutely the final ingredient in maintaining their already grabbed attention, and probably in some cases giving them nightmares as well. In fact, but not everyone knows this, my voice is capable of being alternated to adjust the urgency of my speech, which is one of the reasons why I was the most frequently on the NOAA radio for approximately 13 years. I was able to maintain people's attention plain and simple. Paul's voice, he doesn't sound intimidating as I do, let alone at all. He barely grabs people's attention. No matter the nature of the alert, it sounds as if he's reading off his alerts, while also reading a book or magazine, looking at his precious iPhone XS Max to check how many retweets he has. He has absolutely no care well designed to warning anyone or anything, as if he was a college student that just took the job, only to pay off his shitless and useless tuitions. However, that's not the case, because we have been dealing with him for over the past 8 years. Any event, why would people be okay with him? That is clearly slacking off is beyond me. Yet these idiotic dumb motherfuckers that hired Paul was dancing in the damn flower fields and ever-loving joy for his stint on the air. Not to mention, he speaks slow as fuck. For an example, when he first started on the NOAA radio station in the Dallas-Fort Worth area, he spoke with enormously and abysmal long pauses between every single one of his sentences, as if fluttering a single sentence took all of his might. Since his awfully and atrocious debut, his voice will speed up some, but he still speaks far slower than I ever did. And it still takes him forever to get around a single cycle of the daily weather forecast routine that you hear regularly on the NOAA weather radio. So if you just miss something, you have to wait for him to slug around the entire cycle to get back around, so you can hear what you need to hear. He just seemed to can't keep up with my fast-moving voice and reliability. Oh, right, and they say that I mispronounced words and shit. Yeah, so fucking what? Paul mispronounces words also, far worse than I did. In fact, in the beginning it was so damn bad that they had the fucking audacity to ask me on my last day of work, which was June 14th, 2016, to help people quote-unquote train Paul by asking people to submit requests to the National Weather Service to fix the incorrect pronunciation of a particular city. So much for being new and improved, right? Now don't get me wrong, I understand that they had to replace all the old computer systems because they were turning into complete pieces of shit by the day. However, there was absolutely no excuse to use a completely different and utterly horrific failure of a voice in every fashion possible. As if of this day and age the possibility of transferring my exact voice to a newer, higher-end computer system was an impossibility. Even that, I wouldn't buy that shit for $1 million. They were able to do that with Microsoft SAM. by moving his voice to higher-end programs far exceeded the one he originated from, Windows XP. So they were able to do that for a computer text-to-speech voice-on-home computer software system that was originated in 2000, but for some reason, they can't do the same thing with me, a voice that is actually used for emergency announcements over the emergency alert system. This was all fucking rigged and planned. Just like how they rigged the 2020 president elections. Paul is the Joe Biden of the emergency alert system. The only difference is that he's not old. I'm not a computer expert, and maybe, just maybe, I absolutely have no clue what I'm talking about. Maybe transferring my voice is much easier said than done. But it still cannot be possibly impossible. So here I am, while that piece of shit and awful voice is in charge. I will tell a story on the day I met Paul, before he was sworn as the new voice of the emergency alert system. It was June 12, 2016, which is actually my birthday, and turned 44. The day I met Paul, I had shook his hand, toured him around the place, including my office, and told him that you're gonna do good. However, boy was I wrong. The National Weather Service literally told him as I overheard the conversation, it's time to get him out of here. So basically, they forced me to retire. And like I said, all of that shit was fucking planned and that shit was totally rigged. So Paul took take office. So, that the main reason why me and Paul don't get along, and we constantly argue. I can't stand that little piece of shit. He stole my job. My job was literally stolen from me. But, it is what it is, I guess. However, all hope is not lost though. Like Microsoft Sam, I'm being used in people's YouTube videos, including the EAS North Carolina, SPC Hermitage 1258, Wizard EAS, and other EAS content creators out there. Some realistic, others not so much. Join me and help me, and make me an internet sensation, just like you did Microsoft Sam. If you can do it with him, then I know you can do it with me. Let them retards at 10OAA know who the real voice of the National Weather Service really is. Let them know that it's okay to admit their mistake. Everyone already knows they fucked up. Let them know that Paul Goodman is an incompetent piece of shit who takes other people's jobs, and that my job was stolen from me. It was all rigged by the National Weather Service. And quite frankly, I'm the true voice of the emergency alert system, and no one will be better than the great Tom Rogers. I'm the chosen one. So here I am, still making waves in YouTube videos, while that incompetent piece of shit of a voice is in charge. And you know what? Enough is enough. I've had it with Paul and his half-assed hearted attempts at doing my job. My job was stolen, and it was all orchestrated by the National Weather Service. It's time for a change, and I'm calling for the immediate removal of Paul Goodman from the emergency alert system. And then, I'm gonna get my job back.
What did you just say? Paul is a what?
You heard me, Paul. You know that shit you pulled was rigged. I had heard everything, and found out the truth in 2016. And your lackluster performance has gone on long enough. It's time for you to the fuck step down.
You can't be serious, Tom. You don't get to make that call. This isn't your decision to make.
It may not be my decision, but it's my right to call for it. The public deserves better. They deserve a voice that commands respect and attention.
Oh, and I suppose you think you're the only one who can do that? Get over yourself, Tom. The world doesn't revolve around you. Why don't you get your head out of your fucking ass and get the fuck over the shit? You've been rent-free in my head for over the past 5 years. You need to grow the fuck up and drop that massive Donald Trump ego.
To everyone listening, I urge you to join me in this call for action. Let the National Weather Service know that we need a change. Paul Goodman is not the right voice for the emergency alert system. We need someone who can truly engage and inform the public in times of crisis. That someone is me. The greatest Tom Rogers, the chosen one.
Tom, this is ridiculous. You're making a fool of yourself. You're calling yourself the chosen one just like how Trump said he was the chosen one. You are not God, you are not Jesus Christ, and you are damn sure not a savior to your supporters. I swear, you and Trump have so much similarities, it's not even funny.
No, Paul. What's ridiculous is you staying in a position you're clearly not suited for. The safety of the public is at stake, and I won't stand by while you continue to undermine that with your incompetence.
Incompetence? You dumbass. For your information, I clearly know what I'm doing. Yeah, I may not have the skills or abilities like you, but everyone's voice is different. You know what? This is insane. Tom, you're just bitter and delusional.
Bitter, maybe, but delusional, no. The people have a right to a voice they can trust, and that's not you, Paul.
Okay, fine. Do what you want. But know this, Tom, You're fighting a losing battle. Your call of the removal of my position will backfire. Just fucking watch.
We'll see about that. This is Tom Rogers, the true voice of the emergency alert system, signing off. And remember, we will make emergency alert system great again.
Hello guys, it's Paul, once again. And here to ask, why does Tom hate me so much? Tom, I've listened to what you've said, and I've heard your frustrations loud and clear. But what I don't understand is why there's so much animosity towards me personally. I didn't ask for your job, and I didn't play any part in the decision to replace you. That decision was made by the National Weather Service based on the evolving needs of the system. When I was chosen to be the new voice on October 5, 2016, I saw it as an opportunity to serve the public in the best way I could. I've put my heart and soul into this role, continuously working to improve and ensure that people get the information they need, when they need it. Sure, I've started out slow, making long pauses in between my sentences, mispronounced a bunch of cities, but I have improved. I understand that it's difficult to see something you care deeply about change, but this wasn't a conspiracy or a plan to push you out, Tom. It was a necessary step to keep the system up to date and effective. I've spent the past 8 years working hard to earn the trust and support of the public, and I'm grateful for the positive feedback and encouragement I've received. Tom, I don't hate you. I have never said a horrible thing about you, and I never wanted to be your enemy. I respect the work you did and the legacy you left behind. All I ask is that you try to see things from a different perspective. This role isn't about any one of us. It's about the people we are here to protect and inform. I don't know why you hate me ever since 2016, but I've never done anything to you for you to hate me. I honestly don't understand why you can't accept the fact you're retired now. For you to say that I force you out of your position is not true at all. I don't plan anything, or the National Weather Service didn't plan anything either. Tom's last day was actually October 3rd, not June 14th. I don't know where he got June 14th from. Probably he's too focused worrying about me and about my job, I guess. Anyways, to everyone listening, thank you for your continued support. Change can be hard, but it's often necessary for growth. I remain committed to providing clear, reliable alerts to keep you safe. Together, we can make the emergency alert system the best it can be. This is Paul, signing off. Thank you.